Hi, back again. So we were talking about energy. Now muscles need energy, all right, to move muscles. ATP is an energy source that we'll be talking about for muscle movement. But proteins, of course, are useful in the muscle structure, but they're not useful as an energy source. So you're not going to be using proteins as an energy source. Use proteins for muscle structure, but not for energy. So what are you going to use for energy? Well, we talked about this. Carbohydrates and fats. So carbohydrates and fats are going to provide the energy that the muscles need. Okay? All right, so I always love doing that. So carbohydrates come in various forms, starches and sugars. Here we have a glucose. Here we have a glucose. So again, glucose can come in the cyclic shape. Glucose can come in the linear form, all right? So glucose has carbon atoms bonded to carbon atoms. Those bonds have energy. They are an energy source, so there's energy in those bonds. Here we've got Flippy, the chemical bond over here. Let's see what Flippy can do. So Flippy's got energy in chemical bonds. Okay, so thank you, Flippy, one more time with Flippy. There you go. So back to energy. So carbohydrates and fats. We said that fats were long fatty acid chains. So we'd have 3 of these fatty acid chains held onto the glycerol molecule. So remember glycerol, the 3-carbon glycerol, and each carbon has a fatty acid. So triglycerides, see? 3 fatty acids, glycerol, triglycerides, fats. Plenty of carbon atoms, plenty of carbon bonds, plenty of energy. So let's take a look. If you were a long distance runner versus a sprinter, what would you want to do? What would be your energy source? So we mentioned here, let's go to the fuel board here. We've got mixed muscle fuels. The primary sources are not proteins. They are muscle glycogen, muscle fats, free fatty acids. We call that FFA. Some people call it plasma free fatty acids, PFFA, but we'll just say free fatty acids for now, and blood glucose. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We start our exercise, all right? What are we going to be using as a distribution? Well, pretty much half of the energy is going to come from muscle glycogen. This is a sugar source stored in the muscles. We have liver glycogen, but here we're talking about muscle glycogen, about 50% when you start your exercise. 25% will be coming from muscle fats, fats that are near the muscle. And then free fatty acids, about 25%. So 1, 2, and 3 when you start the exercise, right? So mostly muscle glycogen, muscle fats, and free fatty acids. So not much glucose going on at that time. Glucose will be for your brain. However, after 1 hour, what's going to happen here? 1 hour of exercise. Try not to exercise too much, especially in the heat. But so 1 and 2, meaning muscle glycogen and muscle fats, they start to decrease slowly. You're not using as much of them as you were. Exercise, extensive exercise is going to start bringing in the free fatty acids and the glucose. So that's what happens. 3 and 4, free fatty acids and glucose slowly increase. Now, after 2 hours, if you can stand 2 hours, try to take a break. Let's say you're a marathon runner. You're going to at least have to run for 2 hours. No one's ever run a marathon in less than 2 hours. So now 3 and 4, meaning the free fatty acids and the glucose, right? They are exceeding the muscle glycogen and muscle fats. So now you're starting to tap into those sources. They're exceeding the initial sources, right? When we started our exercise. Oh boy, after 3 hours, most marathon runners are probably going to end up running at least 3 hours, all right? Unless you're really fast, you're going to be running around 3 hours. Now, greater than 70% of your energy is coming from 3 and 4, free fatty acids and glucose, all right? So blood glucose and free fatty acids, after 3 hours, that's the majority of your energy for the muscles. After 4 hours, wow. 90% we're talking about free fatty acids and glucose. So you just couldn't replenish that muscle glycogen and those muscle fats. They're no longer able to function, right? They're going to have to store again. You're going to have to recover. So the long distance runner, right, you're going to be needing, if we go back to the top here, free fatty acids and glucose. So long distance runner, free fatty acids and glucose. If you're a sprinter, muscle glycogen. In fact is, you're probably after 10 seconds, you've done a lot of anaerobic exercise, really nothing involving oxygen. So if you're an intermediate runner, glycogen and muscle fats, right? Long distance runner, free fatty acids and glucose, all right? So enjoy your exercise. Try not to kill yourself out there, but know that you've got mixed fuels and you're going to have them from muscle glycogen, muscle fats, free fatty acids, and glucose. Save your protein for the muscles, not as an energy source. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you in another segment.